Seductive, elegant, drop-dead gorgeous. These are all appropriate words to describe Felicia Hardy, aka Black Cat from Marvel Comics, but she is much more than meets the eye. Despite her being renowned as a cat burglar, a thief, and one of Spider-Man's reoccurring romantic interests, a recent comic series proved that she can also be caring, cunning, and heroic when she needs to rise to the occasion. So welcome back, my fellow comic book friends, to Comic Casper, to another spoiler-free comic book review, so let's kick it. This is the Black Cat Omnibus from Marvel Comics, written by Jed MacKay, and artwork coming in from a variety of talented individuals such as Michael Dowling, Travel Foreman, Pere Perez, and Cia Villa. This collected edition will set you back $100 has a publication date of 15th August 2023, clocks in at 784 pages, and has material that was printed from comic books releasing between 2019 and 2022 with a total of 31 comic book issues. That being the Black Cat 2019 series 1 through to 12, Black Cat the 2020 series 1 through to 10, Black Cat Annual 2019, Black Cat Annual 2021, Giant Size Black Cat Infinity Score 2021, Iron Cat the 2022 series 1 through to 5, and material from Free Comic Book Day 2020, the Spider-Man/Venom. Here's some information to give you a feel for the comic series. Felicia Hardy has a taste for the finer things in life and certain skills that help her procure them. But now Felicia's on the run from the New York Thieves Guild and their boss, Odessa Drake. Prepare for some high-octane heists, thrilling twists, and climatic chases across the Marvel Universe. As with all things Marvel, you can expect some great guest appearances from other characters such as Wolverine, Iron Man, Spider-Man, and so on, and some well-known locations like the Sanctum Sanctorum, Madripoor, and more. This series also includes Felicia's tie-in stories relating to the King in Black event, which strangely enough was actually one of my personal favorites. For those not too familiar with the writings of Jed MacKay, he has recently made a name for himself whilst tackling on quite a few big Marvel titles such as Moon Knight, Doctor Strange, and The Avengers. And he's also instrumental in the 2024 Marvel event Blood Hunt, which brings together the Marvel Universe taking on hordes of vampires. Truth be told, I'm pretty excited about that event. I think it's fair to say MacKay has proved himself as a brilliant writer over the years. His work on the aforementioned titles has been received positively by critics and readers alike, and it's well deserved. MacKay manages to move the narrative at just the right pace and making room for those quiet moments where characters get to connect and undergo critical character building. Black Cat is no exception, and perhaps it was a way to prove himself as a writer that he can be trusted with more prominent intellectual properties. Therefore, don't be surprised if one day MacKay takes on the writing duties of X-Men, the cream of the crop when it comes to Marvel. The quality of the omnibus is pretty great. As with all Marvel collected editions, you get the glossy paper. Thankfully, the pages are thick enough that they don't allow for any bleed through, making this a very enjoyable reading experience. Now, I do have one small gripe, for you see, the dust jacket artwork is simply stunning, right? But the artwork on the cover, spine, and back of the book is super boring. We have these white cats pouncing around on the black background with the logo printed in white. I mean, I get it, it's fitting, but man is it lame. This is a great run, and Black Cat is a beautiful character. To me, this looked like a missed opportunity to do something that amps up the wow factor. Comic book friends, am I being unreasonable, or do you also think it could have done with a bit more pizzazz? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your take. The Black Cat series seems to be a book that gets better with every issue. There is so much charisma and character infused into each panel. You can't help but appreciate the craftsmanship here. They've built a whole world up for a Spider-Man supporting cast member in a way that Felicia can be completely independent of Spider-Man in order to tell a well-written, beautifully drawn story that isn't a detriment to the characters or the comic. The whole run manages to balance fantastic humor, fun heist moments, and great heartfelt character moments and depth. So much so, one of these moments actually hit me pretty hard and got me locked in for the rest of the ride. All of that is perfectly captured by the gorgeous and dynamic art that brings the character and her world to life. Speaking of art, there is a nice selection of talent on the roster. Michael Dowling does a nice job, although sadly he's not featured in too many issues. But the winner, in my eyes, would have to be Cia Villa. I think he just simply nails the look of the character, the way that she moves, her costume, physique, those cheeky facial expressions, and the inking is downright stellar. The issues where Cia Villa is present are great to look at from start to finish, and had me anticipating what was around the corner of every page turn. Combined together with Jed MacKay, we get to see the duo maximize the potential of Black Cat. Whether it is her acrobatics and action during some tense moments, or Felicia revving up her charm in her meaningful encounters with a diverse cast of Marvel characters. What I thought was a nice touch, despite Felicia's show-stopping appearance, she doesn't steal the spotlight for herself. In fact, she has a little crew going to assist her in her heists. There is Bruno Granger, a helicopter pilot and getaway driver. He is also a former soldier in the US Army. Dr. Boris Korps is a safecracker, scientist, and demolitions expert. Then there is the legendary Black Fox, a thief who trained Felicia Hardy's father, Walter Hardy, who plays a significant role in setting up these big jobs. He's not only Felicia's mentor, but always gives the impression of a father figure. And you can tell he truly cares about our protagonist. Because of this team dynamic, we get to see Felicia show off some of her leadership skills when the pressure is cranked up to 11. I was happy to see MacKay depict some of these slice-of-life moments, meaningful interactions with those close to Felicia. It helps to humanize her and adds much-needed character development that was otherwise previously absent. Truth be told, we could use more of these moments in Marvel and DC Comics. This helps to bridge the gap between fantasy and reality, even if it's minor, helping us to connect with these larger-than-life characters. Knowing what's possible in a superhero book with the right writer behind the keyboard gets me excited about further potential of expanding on lower tier Marvel characters, making this universe feel richer and more dynamic than ever before. So who is this omnibus for? Well, whether you are a die-hard fan or simply curious in the slightest about the character of Felicia Hardy, then this is the perfect jumping on point. You don't really need any background reading, and yes, there are characters that will have you questioning who they are and what they mean in the bigger scheme of things as part of Felicia's past, but these comics do a good job at filling the gaps just enough that you can get a good grasp of what's going on. If you're a big fan of heists, action, and wish to expand on the Marvel Universe lore with one of the lesser-known Marvel characters, then this is the place for you. Oh, and you get some sweet cameos from other characters, maybe even some that might surprise you a little bit. Jed MacKay has proven that he can write Felicia Hardy in an extremely likable and relatable way. MacKay's adventures with Felicia continue to be some of the best stuff Marvel is contributing to the world of comics. There's so much potential with a character who delights in fitting from one of the end of the Marvel Universe to another, occasionally deciding to do something heroic. Black Cat mixes high-octane action with a story that pays off for dedicated readers. MacKay does this all without compromising any of the major Marvel lore and is well aware of Black Cat's limitations, making the most of her evasive maneuvers when faced with the endless roster of epic adversaries. On top of it all, this is just a fun little heist comic that shows just how good a writer Jed MacKay really is. I personally enjoyed this, and I do hope that Felicia gets more spotlight in the near future with her own ongoing series. As always, a big thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Let me know in the comments below what comics you are currently reading, and I will catch you soon with some more comic book content.